Okay, so the very last track that I'm going to be doing today is going to be Toadette's Castle by FunkyRacer. This track is nuts. I have so much to say about this track in such a short amount of time. I'm going to try to consolidate it as much as I can, try to talk about everything. Visually, this track is pretty great. I think you can see that already. It's got some really cool ideas. And you can just see from the mini-map what we're getting into. It's a very long, crazy track. It kind of reminds me of Obstagoon style, like big layouts like this. I really like this kind of track layout. What I will say, there's some sections that might need some overhaul or work, and especially visually in some sections. Like, it looks good, but it's a little empty. And there's also too many shortcuts. It's not a bad thing to have like a good amount of shortcuts. It's just there's a lot of them that feel kind of like whatever. Like this shortcut, the shortcut that I passed back there through that little mud patch might not be necessary. There's a few ones that I 100% think are definitely necessary and are very cool shortcuts, and they make the track really good for me. But there's probably just a few too many shortcuts. I think if you had a thread for this track in the track testers, people could probably help you. Like maybe this one too, honestly. This path switch idea is really nice. It's just a little blind. Like, you have to know to drift there, and if you don't, you hit the wall. Kind of same thing there. It's a little blind on the other side too. While I'm here, one thing I want to mention too, these toads, they're really cool, really cute. I love them. The only thing that I have to say about them that's kind of problematic is their collision doesn't match their model at all, whatever they're over. So sometimes, yeah, like you could see me getting pushed all the way over here. It might be a little bit unfair to get hit by those. If there's some way to maybe make their model match it a little better, it'd be nice, but I'm not sure there is a really easy way to. If possible, I would. I like that idea with all of those. This section is probably my favorite of the track. I would say it could be made even better. Like, you get these weird, awkward bounces on the ground out here sometimes that feel unpredictable. And I think it's because the road isn't subdived or made sticky. I would just do that to fix it. Because you get, like, you can see some of the awkward bounces already too that are kind of unpredictable. But if you do that for the road out here, it's really, really good. But yeah, I would keep those two, like, shortcuts at the very end. The one where you jump over the gate. And I would keep the one that you get out of going out of the path switch at the bottom. 100% keep those. Another random thing to mention fixing too would be these desynced stairs. You go through them because the collision doesn't match them. It's not a bad thing. It's just like, it looks a little weird. Like, you might want to fix that just so that you don't like clip through them at all. Might make the character look a little bit nicer while going over it. I'm trying to think of any last minute thoughts in general for this track too. I think it's really solid and looks really, really nice. I think with some more visual details added, it would be nice. Another thing to mention here too, these trick ramps, they look fine, but I think they look a little out of place in the environment because you have like a very pink and white aesthetic going on, and then just the trick ramps here look a little bit out of place with being black. Like, maybe I'd make them like pink instead of gray or black that they're along the sides. It probably helped visually too. It's just a small thing. Like, that's one texture change I'd make, and then like there are those carpet shortcuts that you saw earlier. Those are off-road. It's a little weird because they're not really shown as off-road. They're just like darker pink carpets or like purple pink carpets. I'd probably just make them dirt or something so it doesn't look as weird. It's not a bad thing, again, either. It's just like something to think about. Like, you see it here too. It's a little weird that it's like just a dark carpet that randomly causes you to get like dirt on you. But yeah, I like this shortcut too. I would 100% keep this one. This one and the shortcut I'm going to try to do in a second here. This shortcut up here is really nice. It's a little skill based and adds a little bit of tech. It's kind of hidden. Plus it also misses a, whoa, I'm on top, darn. But yeah, you want to jump over it. It's pretty precise. It's a nice little shortcut that saves a good amount of time, like a second or two. You also miss out on some item boxes over here. That's the final thing I want to mention too real fast. There's like 8 collectible item sets on the track if you get every single set. A general thing I've noticed, I've done this too before, so it's not a bad thing to have made a mistake on your track. If you have more than like 4 item sets, if you get like 15 sets on the track, I believe you can get a mushroom. It causes mushroom glitch if you're in like any position. On your 15th set, you will get a mushroom. So I would just make it so that there's fewer sets in general on the track. The ones that I would maybe suggest consolidating and getting rid of, there's like one by the chain chomp. It's a cute idea, but it might be better to just remove it to save the item sets. There's one there. There's 2 sets by the half pipes, one before them and one on the half pipes. I would keep the one on the half pipes and remove the one before it, so you actually have more value for the half pipes. Because you do have value for the half pipes, it's just like slightly less when there's one right behind them, because you're just going to be chaining instead of just like completely missing an item, you know? I would just fix that. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's all the feedback I have for this track. I think in a thread it would do really, 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 really well if it doesn't get accepted. For me, it's a fixes. I think there's a lot of fixes to make, and that's something a lot of people said too. They were echoing that kind of sentiment, that there's so many fixes for this track. But I think personally, I think it's good enough. Even in its current state, you just have to make those fixes I mentioned, and then this track, for me, is like really good. It's very unique, very special. I don't think there's any tracks quite like this in the pack either, and it has a lot of very defined, unique sections that play really cool. I honestly really like the idea of the track 2 being like an evil Toadette themed track, where Toadette has just come evil and mean and is just doing like crazy stuff like breathing fire at you at the start. So yeah, it's a great track, and I hope to see more from you in the future, FunkyRacer, if you do ever try to make more tracks. It's a very cool track. Good job.